Good morning, you guys. I am in New York today, and we are going to have a little bit of a special vlog because today we are going to spend the day with L'Oreal and La Roche Posay to go to their Be Clear boot camp and learn a lot about taking care of acne, taking care of our skin, and bringing you guys along with me. So I'm about to get on the train, so I'm going to have to say goodbye. But yeah, you guys are coming with me today.
Sebaceous glands can become overactive and start producing more oil. The oil then starts clogging up this space and plugging up the follicle.
In that case, it's okay. As a body moisturizer, it's okay. But when it comes to using it for acne, it's an oil. It's going to clog up your pores. So you have to be careful. When you have acne or anything that's oily, if you put too much, it's going to clog up the pores. But the one thing about coconut oil, it does not cause skin allergies. So all these other oils we talk about can cause horrendous rashes. It's not common, but I see it a lot because that's what I specialize in. I'm the one that
We got some loot.
Yeah, it's 100 grams. I'm ready. And then the next thing you're going to do is add the glycerin. So adding the glycerin will keep the scratches. Perfect. And put, after you mix it for a little bit, you're going to feel the formula start to thicken, and then put the cap on and just give it a nice, mix everything together after you mix it around a little bit.
Back home, as you could probably tell. I'm in my bedroom. That's not my bed, by the way. I don't sleep on the floor. It's like a little reading nook, just FYI. And I have like this funky star lip situation going on because I just filmed a little mini tutorial for Instagram, so that's why I'm wearing that. I also tried to film a mini eye tutorial and it came out like dog shit and I just scrapped it. So that's where we're at today. But now that I'm back home, I wanted to sit down and actually discuss some of the things that we learned at the Be Clear Bootcamp because the information, the amount of information that went into my head that day, oh my God, I can't even begin. There's no way that I could really convey all of it in a video for you guys, but I want to share some of the points that I wrote down and show you some of the products they gave us and stuff too, because some of it is like incredibly relevant to the discussion of skincare and acne issues that we all see on Twitter and the internet in general so very often. I just thought it was really interesting and like to hear it from like an actual expert instead of like people barking at each other over the internet was very enlightening. Okay, so the first thing, and this is the one that was like so relevant to the online conversation that I hear all the time. So everybody always talks about when you have a lot of acne, the first thing people say is drink a lot of water and change your diet. So as far as the water is concerned, according to Dr. Lasich, I think I'm saying her name right. I apologize so much if I'm not. But according to her, there is no connection between hydration and acne. Obviously, being hydrated properly makes you healthier overall and probably doesn't have a negative effect on your skin. It's probably good for your skin, but like as far as that being a cure for your acne. That's just not going to happen. The other thing is the connection between your diet and acne, and specifically dairy. It's so common for people to be on the internet talking about their acne issues, and literally every single comment underneath it will be, have you cut out dairy? Have you cut out dairy? So a lot of studies have actually been going into this in recent years, apparently, and the consensus at the moment seems to be that dairy in itself, like the hormones and all of that crap that's in the dairy, is not having an effect on acne. But what does have an effect on acne is the consumption of high levels of sugar and high levels of sugar as found in low-fat dairy products. It's not even necessarily that low-fat dairy products have added sugar or anything, just even no added sugar in a dairy product, the extraction of the fat raises the glycemic index of the food, which means that it makes your blood sugar spike faster, which causes a hormone imbalance, which is what affects your skin. All according to the most recent research. Even the doctor who was explaining this to us admitted freely that this might be completely debunked. And in 10 years, we could turn around and say, oh, that's so damn stupid. We were completely wrong. But as of right now, the most recent and up-to-date research, that's what it's suggesting. So if you're having problems with acne, maybe try cutting out some sugar. And maybe if you drink like skim milk or anything like that, change over to full fat and see if that helps. I've seen a lot of things on the internet in the past about like different areas of your face meaning different things. So like, for example, I've always heard that having acne along your jawline and your neck is strictly hormonal. And I was always curious if that was an old wives' tale or just like, you know, like they're like these kind of like experts on the internet, but they're not really experts. They're just like people. If it was just kind of like one of those things that was like people say it and maybe it's true, maybe it's an old wives' tale, maybe it's not, but it actually is clinically proven. So if you have acne on the lower part of your face and your neck, you can be pretty sure that it is a hormonal issue. And apparently most acne that is in this area of the face, specifically around the nose and the center of the forehead, I believe she said, is often tied to a form of rosacea, which I didn't know either. Okay, so more things that I learned. Not all of this is even necessarily acne related, because once we got started talking about skin, we just started like firing all of our questions at her, and she was so kind to just answer them freely and like help us out with everything. So one thing is that clinical studies actually show that combining an antioxidant with your sunscreen has like a ton of benefits, which I would have never guessed in a million years. So if you see a sunscreen that says it has antioxidants, it's not nonsense. That's actually really beneficial to have in a sunscreen, apparently. We also got to do a little sit down and ask our one-on-one questions with the doctor. So I will insert a little clip of that here so that you guys can see the questions that I asked her. I tried to base it on things that you guys ask me on a regular basis, specifically things that we've talked about on live streams before, because a lot of times you guys ask me questions and I'm like, yeah, I think it's this. So it was really nice to actually ask a skincare expert the things that you guys ask me sometimes and feel like I'm giving you an actual answer. So I'm gonna insert a clip right here of myself chatting with the doctor about those specific questions. My burning question for you is, I've had this discussion on my live stream with my followers before. None of us understand what exactly the skin barrier is and how we can determine if ours is healthy. Because I've been for a facial before and been told that, oh, your skin barrier looks great, or by the dermatologist, but I don't know how I can know that myself, like by the look or the feel of my skin.
Okay, so the skin barrier is the top layer of the skin. So skin is, like we talked about, the largest organ of our body.
Yes.
And that's what filters what's going to go in and what's not going to go in.
Okay.
It's a very important part of our defense mechanism, or part of our immune system. I don't think you can see the skin barrier. You can't see it literally. So what it's composed of, it's the top layer of the epidermis. It's composed of proteins and lipids and fats. That's what makes up the skin barrier. That doesn't let things out that are not supposed to be in. Now, people who have what we call a compromised skin barrier are usually people who have dry skin or eczema.
Okay.
That's, if you just, I look at your skin now, I can't tell what your barrier is like. I can
Right.
tell you don't have eczema.
Right.
And I can tell you don't have overly dry skin, at least what it looks like now. People with eczema and certain skin conditions that typically cause rashes or dryness of the skin, they tend to have a compromised skin barrier.
Okay.
They don't have all the layers that it takes to keep things out.
Okay.
So that's why people with compromised skin barriers are more prone to bad stuff happening. Bacteria getting in there and getting skin infections, or allergens getting in there. Things like fragrances or preservatives that are found in skincare products that can find their way in and cause an allergic reaction, or warts.
Oh, okay.
So if you have
Warts?
dry skin, let's say dry skin on your hands, or eczema on your hands, and you shake a hand of somebody who has a wart, which is a virus, and you shake the hand, the wart is more likely to get in and cause a wart for yourself because of the compromised skin barrier. So that's why
Wow.
moisturizing is the most important thing of what you can control, other
Wow.
than genetics. What you can control is
Right.
keeping your skin hydrated to maintain that skin barrier. So there are moisturizers with ceramides, lipids, proteins that help bring that back to the skin, what's lacking to heal the skin barrier. But that's usually when you talk about people who have rashes, who have eczema and dry skin.
Gotcha. Okay. I've
That-
heard that glycerin is helpful for your skin barrier
Yes.
health. Is that true?
Yep.
Okay.
So glycerin is one of the ingredients that's put into moisturizer that helps kind of heal the skin barrier and
Okay.
not let bad things get
Good
through.
to know. Okay, wow. The other question I had is if you had to choose one product that was, or like one ingredient rather, for people who are like going from their 20s into their 30s and like starting to try to add a little anti-aging into, but might also be dealing with acne. Is there anything that you could
Can I pick
kinda-
two?
Yeah, that's fair. We could do two.
Okay. Sunscreen
Okay.
and retinol.
Okay, I already use a retinol, so that's really exciting. I lack on the sunscreen sometimes. I can't lie, but
So sunscreen in terms of whether it's your acne, so acne usually flares up. Maybe during the sun exposure it gets a little better and dries out, but later on, because the stratum corneum, that horny layer of the skin, thickens after
Yes.
that, it can cause clogging and then a flare up after the sun
You
exposure.
mentioned that earlier. I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah, and then in terms of wrinkles. So I usually tell people, I educate everybody about sunscreen. I tell them, you can get skin cancer. It goes into one ear and out the other. And I said, but you can get wrinkles too. Then they're listening. So
it catches our attention
yeah,
really
and
quickly.
even on a cloudy day, the UV rays that cause aging, not necessarily skin cancer, maybe that too, but the aging type of UV rays can get through clouds. And you don't even feel like you're in the sun, but it's aging
Yeah,
your
no,
skin.
for
So that's
sure.
why having sunscreen in the morning, whether it's in your moisturizer or you put it on top of your moisturizer or under your makeup, or have makeup with the sunscreen.
Oh, that's what I was gonna ask. Like a BB cream or CC cream with like a UV protection in it.
Yes.
That's enough.
Yeah.
Because I've heard before that's
Now-
not enough.
Well, it's not enough if you're going to be, let's say you're going
Like
on
at
a
the
sunny
beach.
vacation,
Okay.
you're going to the beach. It's not enough. It's going to sweat off of you. You're going to
Right.
get in the water. They're never
Yeah.
sunproof like they used to be able to say they are. Now they can say they're up to 80 minutes of water resistance. It's never waterproof, so you do have to reapply,
Okay.
ideally every 2 hours or so, every time you get out of the water.
Mm-hmm.
But it does have to be reapplied. Now, in the winter, you're walking around the streets of New York. If you have your sunscreen on and maybe a foundation or
Yeah.
a BB cream that also has sunscreen, then you're okay. You don't
Okay.
have to be over your makeup applying sunscreen when you're
Okay.
at the office or
Yeah.
at home.
Right.
But in the summer, if you're in the sun intensely, yes, it does have to be reapplied.
Okay, good to know. Okay, I think you answered all of my burning questions.
Thank you for
Thank
the
you.
questions and thank you for coming.
Thank you. It was so nice to meet you. Another thing that she spoke about that I did want to mention as well was that I see a lot of talk on the internet like disparaging the use of physical exfoliants. And personally, I always felt like that was crazy talk. Like, I know that chemical exfoliants are great, and personally, I really love chemical exfoliants, but I feel like if I use only chemical exfoliants, it doesn't really get like the surface level dead skin, especially around like the more like rough parts of my face, like my nose and stuff like that. So we did ask what she thought of scrubs, and she does recommend exfoliating with a physical exfoliant, but recommends that you keep it to about once a week so it's not too rough on your skin, which sounds like it makes a lot of sense to me. And another thing that I wanted to share with you guys that I thought was just interesting, is not necessarily like a tip, but like a whoa, watch out, make sure you know this. Apparently, if you put lime on your skin, which a lot of people do like natural treatments, they wind up putting citrus on their skin, and they might think that lime and lemon are completely interchangeable, but if you put lime on your skin and you go into the sun, you can have a horrible, horrible allergic reaction that will last for weeks as a rash on your skin. Like, it's incredibly painful and highly not recommended. So just FYI, if you're into like DIY skincare, which another thing that was actually really cool about Dr. Lasage was that she was not against that type of stuff. Like, a lot of doctors are like, don't do those things, and they kind of look down on using natural ingredients to try to get a result. She was not like that. She was super, super like open, and the only thing that she had to say about trying natural things was a few things she said, you know, just wouldn't work, but she warned us against limes. If you put lime on your skin, stay the hell away from the sun, because she said it's one of the most painful things that you can possibly do. And as they do at most events like this, they obviously sent us home with a ton of products. I've only been home for about, I think, 20 hours at this point, so I haven't had a chance to use a ton of them, but obviously I will keep you guys posted on like what I like and what I don't like, and if there are anything that I think you guys absolutely need in your life, I will of course let you know. But so far I have tried the Effaclar Ultra Micellar Water, and I really like it. I don't think that it's as thorough at removing really stubborn makeup as the IT Cosmetics one is. It gets everything off of my skin, it feels very gentle, and it did a really good job of removing my waterproof mascara and even most of the eyelash glue that was on. So far I really like it. Other one that I've tried a couple times so far is the Lipikar Balm. It's like an intense body moisturizer, and so far I thought it was really nice. It smells a little funny. It does smell a little bit like, it almost reminds me of Play-Doh or like tomatoes or something. I don't know. It's not the best smelling thing in the world, but La Roche Posay specifically formulates things to be for sensitive skin, so they don't add any fragrance or anything like that. Oh, another fun thing that they told us is that the name La Roche Posay comes from a town in France where they source all of the water that is the base for their products, and it's like a very specific groundwater that has a very high level of selenium, which is super anti-inflammatory for the skin, which is why they use that as the base for all their products. I don't know clinically how effective that could possibly be, but they seem really proud of it, and yeah, so I thought I would throw that in there because it's pretty neat that they go out of their way to do something so specific like that. They even played for us a video about this young girl who had terrible eczema, and she went to the spa there for a 3-week treatment, and the water like calmed down her eczema incredibly when she had no other relief. So it makes sense, like spa waters like that are a thing. Like even when I went to the Blue Lagoon in Iceland, like there are all of these minerals in the water that are really good for your skin. So I guess infusing them into the products definitely sounds like a good idea. I'm no expert, but it sounds good to me. They also sent me home with the Effaclar Duo, which is their acne treatment. I haven't had any acne since I've had this, so I haven't had a chance to try it, but I will let you guys know if and when that does occur. Hopefully it doesn't, but you know, if it does, I'll try it. There's also a cleansing gel and a mattifying mask. I haven't had a chance to try these yet, but if they are fantastic, I will of course let you guys know. So I think that's all for this vlog. Thank you guys so much for coming along with me. I had so much fun. Thank you again to La Roche Posay and L'Oreal for having me. It was fantastic. I felt like I learned so much. There's so many things that they explained with these diagrams about skin and like the structure of a pimple that I wish I could relay to you guys in an easier format, but I'm not that talented of a teacher. But maybe over time, as we discuss things as we usually do, I'll be able to pass some of that information along with you guys as well. If you guys have any questions about the products or anything else, please leave it in a comment down below. I would be glad to try to answer it the best I can. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and also subscribe if you're not already, because I would love to have you stick around. Don't forget to follow me on other social media. I'm at Ms. Quinface on all platforms, specifically mostly on Instagram and Twitter though, so go and find me over there. Say hello. I would love to have you come see my more interesting things like this, which I totally have to take off before I go walk the dog right now. I'm pretty sure that's it for today. I'll be back in a few days with hopefully a huge, awesome review. Fingers crossed that the stuff gets here in time. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.